Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast for HowToRaiseAnAwesomeKid.com. This is Justin, and with me is Eric.
Hey.
Eric, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great.
Good.
Great.
So we were doing this.
Great.
We were doing this. That's You got some sort of reverb thing going on here. Are you happy with your sound settings over there?
Yeah, I'm sound okay, I think.
Good. Okay.
Do I sound kind of reverby?
No.
Was I just repeating myself?
Yeah, you were sticking your mouth in like it was fun. So I just want to know if it sounded like it was fun over there. You know, echoey or like dramatic or whatever.
No.
Didn't you say you had it like the diva setting on or something?
I turned that off.
Oh, okay. So this is, like I said, the podcast for HowToRaiseAnAwesomeKid.com. And we are recording this a few days right before Christmas 2012. And I don't know. I had a few things to talk about. I wanted to just catch up on a couple things. How's things going with you?
Everybody in the house has been kind of sick lately, so it kind of bites a little bit.
Yeah.
We've got the baby's got a cough, although he's sleeping through the night again, so the worst part's over.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep, 5-year-old. He had a cough a long time ago, but he got over it.
Yeah.
So we've all just been under the weather.
We fortunately, we got that around Thanksgiving when the rest of the family all visited, and then mine only lasted like less than a week, and my wife's lasted 2 weeks, and the baby's lasted like 3 weeks. It was pretty bad. It was his first real cold, and he was kind of coughing and sniffling, and kind of a mess.
Yeah, that's rough.
So
if you have a second, though, get used to it, because the first one is going to bring home all kinds of disease once it gets into school.
Nice, awesome.
It's a cesspool.
Can't wait. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rite of passage. Yeah, about your 5-year-old. Has he had chickenpox yet?
I think he had a chickenpox vaccine.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think he's okay with that. We will vaccinate just about everything that's okay to vaccinate.
Cool.
But it was a concern all of a sudden because one of my coworkers came down with shingles.
Yeah. So what is the story about that? My wife and I were talking about the other day. So and I know it's as simple as actually just looking up on the internet, or maybe asking pretty much anybody, because everybody else knows the answer to this except for me, and that is what the shingles means. That you did have chickenpox, or you never did have chickenpox.
I'll explain it from the perspective of a professional who looked it up on the internet like a week ago and is trying to remember it.
Well, that's what we're looking for here. That's always what we want to bring to the podcast. So go ahead.
Yep. Poor research and hasty opinions. What happens when you get chickenpox, I guess, is your body, it goes out and kills most of the virus, but some of it hangs out in your spine somewhere. Just kind of...
In your spine.
It just chills. And eventually, when you get older or your immune system gets weak or something, every now and then it just pops up. It's like, hey, shingles, buddy.
So you're saying, so that's people who have had chickenpox, they are then prone to having shingles.
That's right. I don't think you can get it if you haven't had chickenpox. Although maybe if you're exposed to the chickenpox virus when you're older, I guess there's a chance. I don't know.
Wow, that stinks. All right. Yeah. All right. So do they have a shingles vaccine? Can you protect yourself? I think they do, don't they?
I don't think so. I mean, apart from the chickenpox vaccine.
We should probably take this moment to announce that we are not medical professionals. We probably shouldn't be giving any type of medical advice. It is clearly evident by this conversation. And later on, we'll probably be getting into some legal discussions. And same deal there. While we're giving blanket CYA statements, I'll go ahead and say that we're also probably not the greatest parents either. So we probably shouldn't be giving any parent advice either.
I'd say I really don't know anything about anything.
Yeah. Let's just make that clear to everybody listening that we don't know much of anything. And they just let anybody have a podcast. So this is episode 12, 13? I don't know.
It's a Thunderdome out there. It's a wasteland.
Yeah, so we're just, So getting back to shingles, you can maybe get it if you, even if you already had chickenpox.
You will get it. Well, you won't.
What?
No, you need to have chickenpox to get it. But just because you had it doesn't necessarily mean just because you had chickenpox doesn't mean you will get shingles. But if you're old enough,
I've heard the only thing I know about shingles is when David Letterman had it, and apparently it was extremely painful and debilitating for like weeks, to maybe even months.
Yeah, I think I was reading about 2 or 3 weeks. It's pretty ugly.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at all. All right, so on my to-do list is find out if there is such a thing as the shingles vaccine, and then get the shingles vaccine. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
If you look up shingles in the yellow pages, you can probably find somebody who can help you out.
Probably, I bet you there are a lot of people who handle shingles.
Yeah.
I've been doing stuff like that. I've been looking for people who do clean gutters, hang a shingle, fix soffits, so.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. We got one of those satellite TV dishes installed on the kind of the roof of the shed of the place we're renting, and I don't think we were supposed to do that.
Ooh,
in
yeah,
retrospect.
They'll probably use that type of thing. That's probably not the bad. That's not terrible. They'll probably let it slide.
I figured somebody who was doing something knew what they were doing, so
Yeah.
I just let it go. I mean,
Well, there you
I
go.
want to watch football.
Yeah, I mean, well, what's more important, right? Mm-hmm. This is America. So yeah, our kid had his 15-month exam, and so we did give him the flu vaccine. I couldn't really think of any reason not to, and so we might as well did. We were thinking about it. It was like, all right, well, this kid doesn't really leave the house much, so he's not going to be really exposed. However, all of his friends, potential kid friends that he hangs out with, they are all their parents tend to be on the side of vaccines are crazy government mind control devices.
Yeah, yeah.
So they tend to avoid optional vaccines.
You have friends who have given birth in bathtubs?
Oh man, I've not.
Okay.
Fortunately, no. Everybody tends to believe in modern science as far as that's concerned.
Until it gets to vaccines, and then you got Jenny
Yeah.
McCarthy.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we went ahead and did that because it was like, well, even though he's not really exposed, he is exposed to kids who, probably won't be vaccinated. So we got that taken care of.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to help, but whatever.
I'm a big fan of it. I mean, knocks down your chance of getting a really nasty disease, and the flu, it's nothing to mess with.
Yeah, I got the flu 2 years ago, and yeah, it's not fun.
Mm-hmm. People die
But
from it.
people, yeah, it's so. I mean, we're not really breaking any ground here. The flu's bad. What's next?
Yeah.
So speaking of dying, I actually this morning had a physical for my life insurance.
Just upbeat. Merry Christmas,
I know.
people.
Merry Christmas. But this is important. This is important though, because I was thinking about like, I was going to get into a little bit later, like your legacy and also just things that you should probably do, especially once you have a kid. And listen, my wife and I have been talking for a while about life insurance. And so finally, I did it. I got off my butt and went and did it and got the whole thing set up. So it was, I went through, we don't get anything for this, so I'm not pitching anything, but I went through, Xander because that's, Dave Ramsey's thing. That's who he recommends.
Oh, I thought it was a villain from Cobra.
Yeah, it could be, or maybe like Zoolander, but no, it's like you do a 20-year term life, and that's kind of what's recommended. That's probably the most fiscally sound way to do it because, they have something called whole life, which kind of works like it's like an investment account where you just kind of put money into it. But this is term life, and the idea is you do it for 20 years, and hopefully 20 years from now, you are already in a good financial position where if you die, then things are taken care of anyway, so you don't need insurance. And also, your kid will be an adult, hopefully. So my wife and I we did like $500,000 each on the both of us, and we got the physical today, and it wasn't as terrible as I was dragging my feet on doing this because I hate physicals.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. It was just it was a normal checkup. They just kind of weighed you and took your pulse, and then a little blood and a little pee, and that's it. So and they came to my house. It was great.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
so
it sounds like we're really buzz marketing right now, though.
we aren't. We aren't. We aren't at all. But the other thing that you can do right now, because that's a little bit more labor intensive, and not everybody can really afford that. I think it ends up being, I think mine is like $30 a month, and my wife's is like, mine's probably like $35 a month, and my wife's is like $25.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think it'll work out to being like $600 or $700 a year. But that's $1 million in protection for the next 20 years, so it's not too bad of a trade-off. But the other thing that we did a little while back, and I finally found the website that we had done it at because I've forgotten. I meant to ask you before we go on. So, do you guys have any type of life insurance? You get it through work or anything?
Yeah, I get like a basic plan through work, and I've got it beefed up a little bit. It kind of covers my wife if something happens, so I can hire like both. No, there's no good way I can take that conversation.
So is your wife insured too, or is just you said it covers both of you guys?
Yeah, I've got policies on everybody.
Oh, and the kids too.
Yeah, nothing too terribly rich, but I'm not much of a provider, so it works out.
Yeah, so that's good, man. I think that's important. I mean, it's not. I don't know. When you start to think about like a scenario where which is what I'm going to talk about next, which is your will. You know, a scenario where, God forbid, something should happen, and one or both of you guys passes away. You know, you have to make sure that there is a game plan for your kid, and that's what my wife and I did. We found a website where you can do your own will. It's called doyourownwill.com.
That's clever.
And yeah, DOYOUROWNWNWILL.com. And again, I don't even know how they support themselves. It's free, and I think they have a couple ads on there, but there's nothing, not on your will, but just on the website.
That'd be kind of cool, though.
Yeah. This will is brought to you
Carlos
by
Jr.
Delta. Yeah. Carlos Jr. So yeah, it's I don't know. I don't even. It's magic. You plug in your state. You plug in like, you know, your married or single situation, how many kids you have, and that's it. It just kind of draws up the will for you, and it's kind of, you know, you go get it notarized. And I would absolutely recommend everybody do it. I mean, the only drawback I've heard is that if you do have serious assets, then it's not the greatest idea. You should probably go get an actual lawyer to get involved.
So what happens to your kiddo if something happens to the two of you?
Right now it's set up that it will go to my wife's sister and her family. I mean, I'm sorry, it will. The kids will go to, or the kid at this point will go to my wife and her sister. And then if that doesn't work out, if something happens there, then it'll go to my sister and her family. And again, when I say it, I mean the baby, the kid. It
seems easier to trust siblings than parents with that.
Well, yeah, I mean both my wife's sister and both my sister, they have. I mean, my wife's sister has 3 kids, and my sister has 1 kid. So it's like these are already people who are already in it, and they already have kids. And we're not saddling somebody who's already finished with having kids with a brand new kid. So I don't know. I think it's important to go ahead and set that up.
I think we talked about my wife's sister because I've got a couple brothers. One of them's still in high school, then the other one is he's working on stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably not the greatest time to stick somebody with a kid. I mean, if there anybody like that, there are people that I know that are like in that same situation. Would obviously or absolutely be the greatest parent, I'm sure. However, you know, it may not be necessarily something they've signed up for. Yeah. So that's kind of why we picked who we picked. So have you guys done a will yet, or is that in the cards?
I figure something happens to us, people can fight over it. They can sort it out.
Yeah, that's kind of the scenario that we're trying to completely avoid by doing a will. So, but yeah, you could do it that way. I mean, why not?
If they don't want to fight it out, they should do a will for us.
That's true. So yeah, but the thing on this website is it only takes, I don't know, 10 minutes. You fill it out, and then you get a PDF of it, and then you can print that out. Take it to a notary. I don't know what that costs, $25. I think my bank will notarize stuff for free. So
yeah, banks like to do that.
Yeah, so if you just if you just walk in there and ask nicely, I bet you somebody at your bank will just do it for free. So that means basically the entire thing can be free, and that way your kids are taken care of and everything's all set.
Yeah.
So that's all I had about those depressing things. Let's talk about happy stuff.
Happy stuff.
Give me something happy, man.
What kind of cookies is your wife baking?
All right, so she just got finished making. She broke out the cookie cutters, so she made some sugar cookies with all sorts of decorations and colored sugar. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say colored sugar these days. That might be, I don't know, not PC.
It wasn't bad.
Now it might be.
Now it is.
So she made those, and she asked me to pull out the food dye, and I did, and I didn't tell her that I did, and so she got finished making the cookies, and she was like, "We had food coloring? You didn't tell me we had food coloring." So they're all just like regular colored cookies.
That's
they're not
cool though.
Yeah, I mean they're just dough colored. So
my wife's been on a nonstop baking spree for 2 weeks. She's been doing like snickerdoodles, chocolate chip cookies, those peanut butter cookies with the Hershey's Kiss in the middle.
Oh man,
gingerbread cookies with the Hershey's Hug in the middle. Those were awesome.
Are these to be given as gifts, or have you guys just been eating your way through them?
A little column A, little column B.
Nice.
Like I took some to work, and we've got the IT director. He's not much for eating cookies. He doesn't usually eat the junk food that's always around with all the IT people. But he kept coming to visit my office when the cookies were there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So are you a good conversationalist? I mean, when he shows up, does he have to work pretty hard to earn those cookies, or is it just kind of like
He's
easy going? He can just be talking to you and just dip into the cookies and be like, yeah, that's interesting.
he's the director. He'll get cookies if he wants.
Oh, okay, nice.
Who could say no?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So we had little cookie fest, and we gave my son. He's almost 16 months. We gave him like his first sugar cookie.
Yeah,
And he loved that.
big surprise.
Yeah, I've noticed when he's hanging out with other kids that he's having a little bit of difficulty sharing. So I tried to share mine with him. He was very interested in letting me share with him, but he was not at all interested with sharing with me. In fact, it was the perfect older brother. I hope, and there are no other kids on the way yet, but he was the perfect older brother because when I asked him, "Can I have some of your cookie?" he put it in his mouth and licked it, and then put it back out and just kind of held it to let me know, like, it's mine now.
My cookie.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Have you looked at child psychology at all?
No. You're talking about specifically for my kid or just in
Well, no,
general?
I mean in general, because yeah, he might not share that much, but that's probably because kids his age, I mean, it's not in their wiring. They have no concept.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
sharing.
My instinct is like, well, I remember as a kid, I wasn't the best sharing, the best at sharing, or at least I noticed that kids around me were much better at sharing than I
Yeah.
was. So I got concerned when this happened. He had a friend over the other day, and Brandon was very protective of his toys, and so yeah, I went and looked at an article or two, and that's what I came away with. Is just like, yeah, this is pretty normal.
Yep.
And
Internet
it's,
says normal.
Internet says. Exactly, and so you can. There's things you can do to kind of steer them in the right direction and all, but there's nothing you can do to kind of. It's gonna happen. It's
Yeah,
totally normal.
they'll get better.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll check back in maybe in a year. I'll let you know how that went.
My youngest, the 8-month-old, he just managed to move himself from on the ground, like rolling around and stuff, to sitting back up on his butt.
Nice. Is he moving? Like, is he? When my kid was that age, he was rolling to get places. Like he would roll his way across the room.
Yeah, it's all very accidental how he moves now. He can, but I don't think he really understands why he's moving.
Yeah. If you put something that he wants, like 4 feet away, will he make an effort?
The problem is he's really good at crawling backwards. So if you put something in front of him that he wants, he's going to end up like 3 or 4 feet away from it and really honked off.
I gotcha. So I see. You don't want to tease the kid.
Yeah.
Play with his emotions.
He's pretty good at getting into Julian's toys, though.
Nice. The other thing we did with the kid was I gave him a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
I should say that my wife gave him a haircut a month or two ago, and it was a good way for me to tease her for a while because it didn't look the greatest, and and so then I was like, well, I know how to do it. I know how to cut a dude's hair. I cut my own hair, so I cut his hair, and it looks exactly the way her haircut looked. So
All right, nice work.
that's what I learned. That's my lesson for being a jerk.
A+, Dad.
Basically. Yep, way to go. But it's okay. We're trying to smooth it out. It'll grow out,
Yeah,
right?
it grows back.
I mean, here's the thing. My mom and my dad cut my hair. I don't remember how old I was, but it's one of my earliest memories because they nicked my ear and I started bleeding, and they both kind of went into a panic and were running around screaming. And I mean, as long as you don't do that, right? I mean, because the thing to remember is when you cut a kid's ear or part of their ear off, the head bleeds a lot, so it's very traumatizing for the parents. So don't, be careful when you're cutting your kid's hair.
Yeah.
Maybe leave it up to trained professionals. I might need to do that. I don't know.
So far, any blood being drawn is coming, from me because of the kids.
You what?
Any blood, it's
they're drawing your blood.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, he's the youngest one managed to stick a finger really far up my nose last week, much further than fingers are meant to be stuck.
Oh.
And I got a nosebleed from that, and I'm not really a nosebleed guy, but there's a fair amount of blood. I couldn't really stop him from sticking the finger in my nose because I was busy trying to get the other finger out of my eye.
Yeah. Well, that's how they get you. Focus on the eye finger, Dad, and then boom, there comes the nose finger.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had about my kids' update, man. I will say that an update on I think this was the last podcast when we were talking about Christmas specials.
Yeah.
So I watched the Polar Express again, and I think in the last podcast I said that the Polar Express was an invented thing that wasn't really like a Christmas classic. It was more or less just kind of like a marketing thing, and I don't think so anymore. You know, part of that is because I looked into like a lot of the different Christmas
Yeah.
traditions, you know, and you know, like Rudolph was invented by a department store. I think Gimbals, no, Gimbals was fake, wasn't it? It was invented by some department store like 60 years ago, and pretty much everything. You know, Santa Claus was invented by Coke, like the modern Santa Claus. So I want to cut Polar Express some slack, you know.
It's all commercial.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about like today. I was listening to some Christmas music on the radio, and it's like, you know, 80 years ago there was only 5 Christmas songs.
Now there's
And
6.
yeah, now there's 500,000. There's everybody has a Christmas
No,
song.
no,
So
no. There's not. There's
no,
like
trust
7
me, no.
songs, and they're all just different versions.
No, you'd be surprised, man. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Every
There
now
are a
and then
lot.
there tries
My
to be a
wife,
new one.
my wife and I collect them. There's a ton.
Yeah, my wife does too, and they're like all different versions of the same dang songs.
It's possible.
There is that newish song about Christmas shoes, and my wife hates that one with a
Oh
passion.
God, nobody likes that song.
I've never heard it, so I started making up some lyrics. Mine was better.
Oh, guaranteed, man.
Yeah.
There's no way you can't improve on that song. No way.
Yeah.
You could do anything to that song. Add in a grandma that gets run over by a reindeer, and it's 10 times better.
It's like we've got the car radio that tells the name of the song, and as soon as it comes on, Ashley turns the radio down. I'm looking like Christmas shoes, and I'm all like, I wanna put on my Christmas shoes. Ooh,
There you
my
go.
Christmas shoes.
That is better.
Yeah,
That is better. Record that, man.
that's how the
Put
song
that
goes
out.
in my head.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way it should go.
Uh-huh.
Trust me. That's the way it should go. It's really bad. So what do you giving your kids? Are they up? Can they hear? Are you gonna
No,
spoil it?
he's in bed. He's cool. What did I do? I got a present from the baby to the 5-year-old, and he got him like a little Lego Star Wars thing that comes in the little spherical Death Star.
Wow.
So it was kind of a
Wait, I've heard about this one. I've seen pictures of that. That's a big deal.
no, it's a cheapie.
Oh, is it? But is it like you put together the? I mean, it is smallish, but didn't you put together the Death Star? Is
No,
that
no,
like-
no, not that one. Oh, God,
okay.
I want that one. This is like there's a little sphere in the shape of the Death Star, and you open it up and get the Lego pieces out to make a tiny little TIE interceptor.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
Still cool. That sounds. I want that now. Actually.
Yeah, it's all right.
So what else? What else? What are the? Did you get anything for your youngest?
I got him the Elephant Ball Popper.
Oh yeah, that's a big hit here.
I can't wait to play with it.
Yeah, our kid, I think at that age, he would hit the button, and because he could sit up,
Yeah.
he would kind of rock back and forth. It was a little creepy actually, but you know, he's grown up now to the point where he plays with it. You know, grabs the balls out and sticks them in and everything.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool that he's like watching him kind of grow up with that toy.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of
I mean, it's
fun.
a great thing because it's like that. It has that big giant button that the kid hits, and it starts playing music, and then it starts blowing air out of the elephant's nose with the little balls that come out.
Yeah.
And it's cool just watching him like learn how to press that button over and over again.
And over
it's-
and over.
It's and over, yeah. Well, at least it plays like a different song each time.
Yeah, that's
so.
pretty cool.
Let's see. My kid, I got him nothing.
Take that.
I got him some stuff like a long time ago. Like if you go to, I'm sure I talked about this before, but if you go to like Marshalls or TJ Maxx or Ross, and they all have like little toy sections, and it's all like last year's toys or kind of off-brand knockoff toys, but they're super cheap. Like they're way marked down. And so every time my wife needed to go in there to go shopping, I would go back to the toy section. And so I've kind of piled up like a closet full of these toys.
Cool.
Some of them aren't going to be appropriate for him for a few years, but
You're
it's
ready.
kind of a cheap way to do it. Yeah, so I mean, like I got him some wooden blocks and that type of thing. I got him a train set, like a wooden train set.
Yeah,
I got him
those are
2 of
nice.
them actually. Yeah, but I think he's still a little too young. I'm not sure if
Like
he's really going to be able.
4 years, he's going to wonder why he has this Guardians of Gahul playset.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what that is. So yeah, he's definitely gonna be like, "What the heck was this?" It's like, listen, this was a really important thing 3 years ago.
This is a movie that came out that everybody forgot.
Yeah. So his let's see. I know he's getting cardboard blocks. He's gotten a few things already. He's gotten some clothes. But I love those cardboard blocks. You know, they're like this big 18-inch by 6-inch
Oh,
by
those are
4-inch.
nice.
Yeah, those cardboard blocks. They're expensive though. They're like, I don't know, $2 a block.
Oh, that's terrible.
But when you ask your family to pay for it, then it's not that bad. So he's got a couple sets of those. So I think he has like 36 blocks now, and we're totally gonna build all sorts of awesome forts. It's gonna be great.
It sounds like fun.
And then I did get him something. I got him, you know, Think Geek sells that the plush portal companion cube.
Yeah.
And for like 6 years now, it's been $30 plus $10 shipping. And during their like Christmas sale, they sold it for half off, so it was like $15 plus free shipping. So I was like, you know what? Finally, this is the time after 6 years to pounce. So I bought this thing that I'm sure he's going to be like, yeah,
Absolutely.
this reminds me of my favorite video game, Dad. Thanks a lot. Thank you for giving me something that's nostalgic for you.
Absolutely.
But I guess that's kind of what Star Wars is too, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
Julian has buy Mario and Luigi plushes as well as the Donkey Kong, so he's okay.
Yeah, but see, to me that's indoctrination. Like that's a good thing. Go ahead and just slip that Mario stuff in there.
Oh, sure.
I'm already eyeing some of that Mario stuff. Just some of it's though a little bit like crappy quality.
Yeah.
It's kind of flimsy looking.
Yeah, some of it is.
Gotta find some good quality Mario stuff. So, that's it, man. We kind of covered a lot of ground. I don't really have too much else.
Yeah, that works.
Do you have anything else? You know what? The only other thing I had was my grandfather. Here we go. We're gonna start on a sad note. We're gonna end on a sad note.
Oh, great.
My grandfather passed away like a year ago, and when they were divvying up all the stuff in his house, one of the things that I got was a bunch of his old reel-to-reel tapes. And you know, he used to be a Baptist minister, so some of these tapes have they have like some of his like lessons and stuff like that, and also some of his teachings. And so yesterday I pulled out the reel-to-reel player that came with it and started recording them onto the computer, so I can kind of maybe give them back to the family or something like that. But it's funny how, you know, when somebody's gone like that, you can't really listen to them, you can't talk to them or even hear them, but being able to hear his voice is pretty cool. So just, you know, I'm just thinking about that for 40 years from now. That's kind of what we're doing here. A little bit of something that our, you know, kids or our grandkids can listen to.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all. This has been the most depressing podcast.
No, that makes sense.
The most depressing
That's
podcast
touching.
of all time.
That touches my heart.
Yeah, I just think about like, you know, a little bit like I was saying earlier, kind of a little bit of legacy. Like, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I don't know if you're trying to do that too. Maybe you are. I don't know. Just kind of give a little direction. If somebody else wants to hear it too, but mostly, I want my kid to be able to listen to this, you know, 30 years from now when he's having his own kid, and he can say like, "Oh yeah, so my dad went through that too."
Yep.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
So, that's it, man.
That's cool.
Give me something happy. What else? Did you watch any other Christmas holiday specials, anything like that?
No, we watched Miracle on 34th Street today, the original one.
The black and white. Wow.
Yeah, but you know, I didn't really get much of a chance to watch it because I've been driving all day getting stuff ready for our trip tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you guys are going back home to Indiana.
Yep.
I watched today. We watched a couple tonight, and one of them was The Little Drummer Boy, which is awful. It's really, really bad.
Oh, no.
It's from like 1964 claymation, right? Or not even claymation.
Is it one of the
like,
Rankin and Bass ones?
I don't know sure if they were involved. It kind of looks like maybe a knockoff, but it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's not claymation. It's like stop motion marionettes.
Yeah,
and it's really awful because you know what the story doesn't have anything to do with Christmas until the very end, and then at the very end there's like a logistical problem of this kid's gift to baby Jesus is him banging the drums, and as a parent of a new baby, you know. Or as a new kid, I guess, you start thinking about like the logistics of having on the night of your kid's birth, somebody banging the drums right next to their head. It's not.
No.
I don't know. As a parent, I'd probably be like, "Well, this has been great.
Not cool,
maybe
kid.
Come back. Yeah, maybe come back like in a couple days. You know, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
All this drumming.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I saw that one, and that's it, man. I think we're pretty much up to date on. I think we've seen all the holiday specials we want to see.
All right.
Seen all the movies. I think we're all set.
Yeah, you're good to go.
So the podcast or the email address for us is podcast@howtoraiseanawesomekid.com. and you can email us there, and we would be happy to hear from you. There used to be a phone number; it's still there. I don't care anymore. Just go on our website. Go on our website to get it. I'm not going to list it off in every single podcast. That's ridiculous. Maybe next podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, he'll list it off when you call people.
That's right. Just call it, and then I'll tell you what the number is.
Next up, he's going to stop telling you the email address.
That's right. We're just going to stop doing that.
Stop talking about the website.
Stop. There is no website. It's just the podcast now. Yeah. All right, man. It's good talking to you.
All right, see you later.